If I'm really going to be satisfied with this draft, then the Eagles need to come away with at least one of these four players.
Still the cowboy, Mr. McLean. You Americans are all alike. But this time, John Wayne doesn't walk into the sunset with Grace Kelly.
Scary Cooper, asshole!
Oh, Diva! Oh, shit! Oh, shit! That was crazy!
Happy trails, Hans.
Dallas still stinks.
Yo, by the way, King Dingbat here in this draft can't come soon enough. It can't come soon enough. I need it. I am dying for the draft to get here, you know. I need it. I'm waiting for it. I'm dying for it. And I gotta tell you, I have no idea how it's going to turn out. I have no idea what the Eagles are planning. They could go 1,000 different ways. Who knows? We hear everybody saying, oh, the Eagles are taking Justin Jefferson. That's it. But that almost seems too easy. Howie Roseman never makes the draft that easy. I don't know what the Eagles are going to do. They could go defense in the first round. Maybe for the first time in a long time they go linebacker. Who the hell knows? I have no idea. But here's what I do know. Here's what I know. When people look back at the 2020 draft, they're going to think about one thing. What did the Eagles do for Carson Wentz? What did they do to help the offense? This draft is all about helping the offense. That's what it's about. When you have a draft that has a historic wide receiver talent in it, you can't come away with one receiver or just one guy that is decent. You have to hit this crap. You have to hit on this draft. You have to. And I don't know what the Eagles are going to do. I don't. But here's what I think. If the Eagles don't come away with at least one of these four players, then we got big problems. I'm not going to be satisfied. They got to come away with one of these four players. And the first guy, and my first option is Henry Ruggs of Alabama. The Eagles have to trade up. This is my number one option for the Eagles. This is what they should do. This, matter of fact, would surprise 95% of the people out there because everybody says it's not happening. So maybe that's what Howie Roseman would do. Me, I'm trading up. I'm trading up to get Henry Ruggs. Okay, that would be my first option. So, Henry Ruggs, he's one of the four guys. One of these four guys, they have to hit. Okay, they have to draft. Okay, so Henry Ruggs is one. Number two, let's say they're at 21 and they stay at 21. You got to take Denzel Mims. Denzel Mims has the ability. In 3, 4, 5 years, he has the ceiling that he could end up being the best player, the best wide receiver in this draft. He has that much talent. Now, he's raw and he's got work to do and all those things, but he's got that talent in him. He's got that ceiling. So, Denzel Mims totally could be a steal of this draft, a steal at 21. And the Eagles, if they're going to stay at 21, that's who I'm picking. I'm picking Denzel Mims. Okay? Now, another option for the Eagles could be to trade back. They could say, you know what, we're not going to take Denzel Mims here. We're going to trade back. And they could end up taking a guy named Brandon Ayuk. Now, if they get Brandon Ayuk, I would love it. I love Brandon Ayuk. The more I watch him, the more I like him. He can do exactly what the Eagles need. He's a space creator. He's good yards after the catch. He can take screen passes, go 80 yards. He can go vertical. He can get behind defenders. He is a stud. He is a stud. And if the Eagles wanted to trade back in the first round, like the 27, 28, then snag Brandon Ayuk, perfect. So he's one of the four guys they got to land in this draft, okay? And then the last guy I think that they can't afford to lose on, let's say they stay at 21, right? Let's say the Eagles are at 21 and they take Denzel Mims, right? Which would be awesome. Or let's just say they take Justin Jefferson. Okay, fine. So you go into round 2, you have to trade up. You have to make your trade up here, and you have to get Jalen Reagor. Jalen Reagor is a stud. He's a stud. He may be a first-round pick himself now. You may not even get him in the second round. So you may have to do that whole trade back option and maybe not take Ayuk, maybe take Reagor. Because the truth of the matter is, Reagor, he may be gone. I mean, everybody saw his virtual pro day where was clocked at a 4.22 and a 4.28. Well, he ran, I think, a 4.48 at the combine, but he was a little heavy. He lost a little weight, came back, ran fantastic. Guy is perfect for the Eagles. So, to me, the Eagles have to land either Henry Ruggs, Denzel Mims, Brandon Ayuk, or Jalen Reagor. One of those 4 guys have to be in combination of at least 2 early wide receivers. So, early in the draft, I'm going probably first round receiver, third round receiver, or first and second round receiver. 2 of the first 3 rounds have to be 2 receivers. Okay? That's the way it has to be. The Eagles have to hit on wide receiver. And I think that either Ruggs, Mims, Reagor, or Ayuk have to land on the Eagles draft board. It has to. Okay, now you can combine Denzel Mims with Antonio Gibson, Quez Watkins. I don't care how you want to pair it up, but you have to land Ruggs, Reagor, Ayuk, or Denzel Mims. To me, those are the guys who fit the Eagles best. They fit the Eagles best. I mean, all those guys can get deep, can get beyond wide receiver. And then Denzel Mims, I know people have said he doesn't get separation, things like that, but he's so raw and he's so talented and his ceiling is so high that I think you can't miss on a guy like that. You have to take a chance on him because if he pans out, if he develops, he could literally be the best wide receiver in this draft. That's unbelievable to me, you know? This draft's all about weapons, man. I would even consider a situation where, let's say, first round, you get a receiver. Second round, you go corner. Third round, you go receiver again. Early fourth round with your first fourth round pick. Remember, you have 3/4. You take offensive linemen. Then if a guy like A.J. Dillon is on the board, especially A.J. Dillon, because I think he would be a perfect fit, although I do worry about his receiving skills, but he would be a good short yardage back for the Eagles. I would take somebody like that. Whatever you can do to give Carson Wentz more options in this offense, you got to do it. You got to do it because this whole draft is about putting the weapons around Carson Wentz for years to come. For years. If you can hit on 2 or 3 guys and they become legitimate starters, it is going to be such a big deal for the Eagles in a few years. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen. All I know is that if I'm going to be satisfied with this draft, the Eagles better come out with either Henry Ruggs, Denzel Mims, Brandon Ayuk, or Jalen Reagor. One of those 4 guys have to be on this roster. They are the guys we need. You can combine them in any other order. So you can say, all right, Brandon Ayuk falls the second, we took Jefferson the first. Fine. You know, and for those Jefferson fans out there, right? I don't hate Jefferson. I think he's decent. I'm like, if they get him, I'll be okay with it. But to be really satisfied, I'd rather take Denzel Mims because Denzel Mims, to me, has the higher ceiling. He has the higher ceiling. That's just my opinion. Could be totally wrong. But, I mean, when I hear that the Eagles they're taking Justin Jefferson, everybody's saying it. Everybody is talking about it's going to be Justin Jefferson. That makes me think it's not going to be Justin Jefferson. That's not the way Howie Roseman rolls. You know it. I know it. It's just the way it is. So, who knows? We'll see. You know, it's going to be an interesting draft. The Eagles offensively, they have a lot of work to do. They have a ton of work to do so far. Matter of fact, I'm going to be putting out a video next week at some point talking to you about which offensive players I think the Eagles could possibly trade during the draft, before the draft, around the draft, somewhere in there. And I'm not just talking about Zach Ertz. I'm not necessarily talking about Ertz at all. I'm just saying I got some names and I think they're going to surprise some of you guys. So I'll put that out next week. But the Eagles got to hit on offense. They got to hit it in this draft. This is a huge draft. Most important draft since they drafted Carson Wentz, in my opinion. You guys have a great Easter tomorrow. You guys have a great day. I will see you guys soon. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. And don't be a dingbat.